football team, and was pleased with how we play. I thought we played hard throughout the game. That's one thing coaches look for throughout a ball game, especially when you're down at the fourth quarter, the clock's running, meaning they got more than the 35-point lead. And what kind of reaction are you getting from your kids? I thought our kids played hard. That'll help in the big picture of our football season. But they were just way too fast for us, and strong, big, fast. You name it, they've got it. Their passing game is very good. Their running game is excellent, and they're very aggressive and quick and fast on defense. So, we took our lumps and hopefully can get better from playing those type of teams when we get into the playoffs and all. It does. I think it doesn't hurt you, but as long as you come out somewhat injury free, I think you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I guess that's always the hope when you play this tough dogwood district schedule. Not that you have a choice, but you play these tough teams like your Dan Rivers and your Appomattox and obviously Gretna, William Campbell. You can throw them in there too. And then add Rustburg. I guess by the time the playoffs roll around, you feel like you should be fairly battle-tested, right?
I think so. I really do. With teams that are maybe a slower, bigger, stronger team, or teams that are athletic, fast, and all, I think you get a little bit of the mix throughout the whole year. And with our schedule, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's probably better than good as far as degree of toughness and all. So we'll the only time will tell as far as does that help you out throughout the playoffs.
I guess we forgot about Central Lunenburg and that tough schedule too. One more question about Appomattox Friday night. Who stood out to you individually? Anybody you want to talk about? I know Chancellor Mormon was more involved in the offense. Seemed like you made a point to get him the ball some. Him and any other guys worth talking about for performances Friday night?
I really don't know, to be honest with you. The game's behind me there as far as individually. I know Jake Adams started at quarterback for the first time, and overall held his composure and did some things that I liked, even with the non-physical stuff, the mental approach to the game. Did a number of things I liked, and although he did sprain his ankle in the ball game. But yeah, overall, we just team-wise, I thought guys still played hard all the way to the end. The individual part there, I really can't remember.
Well, we'll move on to tonight's game against William Campbell. It's a new coach, Danny Broggan. They're out of the single wing. They're in a spread offense, but still a very good offense, very dangerous.
Yeah, their quarterback, the Rosser kid, he's a junior. He can throw it very well and runs it. He's a very physical runner. He's what makes their offense go, and they've got a number of receivers in their spread offense that you have to defend, and they spread you out. That's the gist of the spread offense, is to get you to cover sideline to sideline and try to hit seams, running the football, passing the football in those areas. And we haven't really seen a true spread team yet this year, and we're going to have to do a good job defending that.
What do you think the Generals' defense is going to do to try and slow down your offense?
I think they're going to be very aggressive. Aggressive meaning they're going to stunt their linebackers, and they're going to play a press coverage on their defensive backs on a receiver, meaning they're going to get nose to nose with them and not have much cushion in between. I think they're going to try to put the pressure to us.
Well, final thought for the evening here, Coach. You said you feel like you guys normally are pretty good mentally wise at home, normally pretty much ready for the games. You think that applies here on homecoming, or do you think the distractions, are you worried about the distractions, I guess maybe is the question?
I always talk about the distractions on Monday, especially with homecoming week. I think things have changed a little bit. I don't know. It used to be pretty wild where they were involved in a lot of different things. I don't recognize it as much. We've talked about it, and I told them have a good time with the homecoming and throughout the week, and just remember what we're doing at 7:00 Friday. So we've had a good week of practice, and I think their concentration is going to be there.
Great stuff, Coach. We'll let you run. It's almost time for 7:00 kickoff between the Generals and the Colonels, about 20 minutes away on 105.5 KD Country.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about, to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
A full line of Carhartt clothing's available now at English's The Complete Home Center, Altavista. Carhartt clothing, known for its rugged durability. On display at English's with a full line of men's wear, coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats. Sizes up to 4X. Carhartt for ladies, too. Special orders and accessories available. Order early for Christmas.
English's is your complete home center.
The Carhartt clothing department at English's on North Main Street.
Napa Know-How.
The Napa Know-How 99-cent reusable bag is like any ordinary bag. But if you put stuff your car needs from Napa into an ordinary bag, you won't get 20% off. You can only get 20% off in a Napa reusable bag. Now just 99 cents. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Minimum 3 items. Some restrictions apply. Offer expires 10/31/16.
Brought to you by Napa of Altavista on Main Street in Altavista.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week. Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador, the happiest place in town, thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
There's that lead-in music that we so dearly enjoy to hear, Mr. Briggs. And you heard from Coach Sharness there as we get ready for the William Campbell Generals taking on the Altavista Colonels. Seemed like he was pretty eager to forget Friday night's game against Appomattox, even though he thought that the Colonels still played hard. It was a 42-13 Appomattox victory. I know we talked a little bit last week, but any further thoughts on the Raiders? Gosh, they're going to make a lot of people look bad this year, and they did it last year, too.
You know, it was interesting that we had a conversation afterwards about where do you rank that team, and you know, with team speed and depth and everything, and how does it compare to some of the Colonel teams we've seen in the past? And boy, they stack up relatively well when you talk about the back-to-back state championship years. That group of athletes they got at Appomattox right now is special. And somehow a lot of them skill positions are juniors, too.
Yeah.
So the future looks bright for them. Doug Smith continues to do a great job. And, the future looks bright for Appomattox.
Sure does. If you want something to compare, Appomattox took on William Campbell a few weeks ago. It was a 55-0 Raider victory. I don't know that you can read too much into that. I mean, when you get at those blowout scores, it's hard to really quantify how much a touchdown here or a touchdown there matters. But either way, William Campbell is a solid football team coming in at 3-4, and they have played a few of the same people that Altavista has.
Well, the other common opponent to date is Lunenburg Central. William Campbell lost 42-28. Altavista won 33-19. That was Altavista's first game of the season.
It was William Campbell's
first game of the season as well. That's correct. So I don't know that you can read a lot into that either. I looked back, and since 2005, these teams have met 14 times, and they're 7-7. So they've split the series.
Yep.
Out of those 4 years, they were state champions. William Campbell won in 2005, and then Altavista in 2009, 13, and 14. Some interesting things about this rivalry in Series 2. In 2012, they played 3 times, and Altavista won all 3. 2011, they played twice, and William Campbell won both of those.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that stuff about the rivalry, because it is still a pretty good rivalry. I mean, we know about the Colonels' rivalry with the Gretna Hawks. We'll get to see that firsthand next week. That's still very much alive and well. But I would argue that this is probably Altavista's, next biggest rival in all sports, really, the William Campbell Generals, and football no exception. You remember last year, most recently, it was a 34-7 William Campbell victory. You and I were discussing last year's game some. Colonels didn't really get the football much in the first half. William Campbell just dominated the time of possession. They just continued to churn out yards on the ground with that single wing. Now that style of offense is gone. It's going to be more of a spread attack this year for Danny Broggin's squad. And I wonder how the Colonels will do with that. Mike Sharness pointed out we've seen some teams operate out of the shotgun, but not exactly a true spread. He talked about how Rustburg wasn't exactly running the same type of a spread offense that William Campbell will tonight.
Well, and William Campbell's averaging 26 points a game. Altavista's giving up 16. Altavista's scoring 29. Again, William Campbell's giving up 27. So those stats are pretty close. On paper, it looks like this should be another Campbell County rivalry.
I think so. This is the Subway pregame show. We'll continue to talk some about this one. We'll send out a few shout-outs. Let's send out one right now to Danny Barber, listening at the Village Barber Shop there on Broad Street. He's always got KD Country pumping. He's a big high school football fan. He talks about how he's got a lot of folks that come from different places like Brooke Neal that are William Campbell fans, and, of course, he's got some Colonel fans. So Danny's one of those guys, he just roots for everybody. That way he doesn't make anybody unhappy.
Well, he's got a lot of Gretna people to come across the river, too. So don't let that go by.
Big couple weeks for Danny Barber here.
That's right.
His fandom. Anyway, and we'll send out some more shout-outs and say hello to some more folks. Get in touch with us on Facebook. KD Country's Facebook page is always alive and well. No cyber attacks there. We're ready to take your messages, and we'll talk about you on the radio if you want to. Or if you want to remain anonymous, that's cool, too. Glad you're tuned in on 105.5 or maybe at kdcountry.com, perhaps on your smartphone with the TuneIn app. It's a nice October evening. It's a windy evening out there, though. It was warm about an hour ago, but the sun is going down, the wind is picking up, and it's actually turned into a pretty chilly night. Quick time out here and more of the Subway pregame show when you return. It's Altavista and William Campbell on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
El Cerrito in Altavista. Throw on a sombrero, shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
The Medicine Shop in Altavista on Main Street, a full-service pharmacy, now offering flu shots.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
The Dairy Freeze, Main Street, Altavista, with delicious hot dogs, burgers, fries, and, of course, ice cream. At Dairy Freeze, they're doing it right.
Radio Shack and Crystal Bay Pools, Altavista, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installation, chemicals, liners, and more.
The KD Country Sports Club, proud supporters of Colonel football.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks and certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharnes and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season.
Get on the winning team and come find one of a kind. Shoppers, did you know Altavista has several unique antique stores? Check out the great selection at Mad Biddy's, 105 Wood Lane Road, or stop by Vintage on Broad to see where the American pickers have been. Try the Main Street Trading Company, offering unique home accents, jewelry, and more. An invitation from the Altavista Office of Economic Development. More information online at altavistaontrack.net.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
The Subway pregame show returns here from English Stadium. It's Altavista High School, the site of the Colonels, taking on the William Campbell Generals. I'm Kyle. He's Oscar. Oscar, it's homecoming tonight. And then in addition to that, we've got some pregame festivities here for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The cheerleaders have been doing this pregame deal for 3 or 4 years now. It seems like they've been doing this.
And they do something a little bit different every year, and it's always a moving tribute for those of us that have been touched by those that continue to fight this awful disease.
Yeah, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I think the cheerleaders sort of gear this pregame event towards, like you said, everybody that has had to deal with the disease, and they are going to release some pink balloons, and they already released some black and orange balloons earlier.
And it was the interesting observation there. Kyle talked about the wind earlier and the effect it may have on the game. Well, guess what? When they released the balloons, none of them got above the helium balloons, and none of them got above the height of the stadium lights here. They sat and swirled over the field for several minutes before they moved their way towards the visitor sideline. So interesting observation there that how the wind can affect what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a great transition back into what may or may not happen in the ball game tonight. We've seen some games where the Colonels and their opponents have had to battle rain and windy conditions. This wind tonight seems like it might be a little steadier, but then also having some gusts that are maybe greater than what we dealt with in possibly that Nelson County game. I know that Nelson County game, first quarter, that wind, that was pretty wicked. It seems like, at least based on the forecast here tonight, Oscar, that this wind is going to continue all night. It's blowing from the south to the north. It's blowing back towards Broad Street. So when you're going that direction on offense and kicking, you'll have a great advantage. When you're going against the wind, I have a feeling the passing game is going to be pretty tough. Kicking game is going to be even tougher.
Well, we were watching both teams punt during warm-ups, and punting with the wind, it was obviously not as bad. But we saw some punts that didn't go 15 yards into this stiff wind, so that'll be a key factor in tonight's game. The last two games we've had with not the Appomattox, but prior to that, Nelson County and Chatham both had horrendous weather, a lot of wind, and a ton of rain, and the Colonels really handled both of those games very well.
They did. Didn't turn the football over much. They took care of it. It didn't seem like the elements bothered them too much. On that note, remember, we thought the field got really beat up against Chatham. The field's actually in very good shape. I walked around even between the hash marks. Not much damage left over from that Chatham game in the mud and the slop. So that's good news, and certainly the warm temperatures lately have helped the Bermuda grass. It seems like it's still strong and growing. I remember listening to last year's game against William Campbell. We talked about how the turf was turned yellow.
That's right.
It's still very green here in late October, so that should help the offense as well, and probably helps the defenses a little bit too. Good footing's going to help everybody, I suppose. It's the Subway pregame show. You can help yourself to one of the $3.50 subs of the day. Friday, of course, is tuna. Saturday, the Black Forest ham. Sunday, the meatball marinara, which is Dave Hoehne's favorite, that meatball marinara. You and I, we went with the carved turkey, both of us here tonight. That carved turkey's hard to beat, bro.
You've been touting that for several weeks, and sometimes I ride you about staying on the same sandwich, but I went your way tonight unknowingly. We didn't talk about it, but it's a home run. That's something that we talked about. It's good enough that we think that they should put it on their regular menu and not have it just as a special time of year fare.
You see why.
I do.
Tout it
absolutely.
all the time. Very good. We'll find out what our sound engineers, Eleanor and Katie, decided to go with in their dining options here tonight. It's the Subway pregame show. Almost set for the national anthem, but before we get there, let me tell you about some of the folks that make our game possible. I may get stopped in the middle of this. If so, we'll just pick it up after the break. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support of Highview Motors GMC. From small to tall, Highview has it all. While we have a moment, let me say hello to George and Hector. They're both very, very big high school football fans. George is a former Colonel player himself, and I think he told me he was a rugged linebacker / offensive lineman.
Fourth, and it was a great shootout.
Looks like Daniel Dawson and Josh Rosser back deep to return for William Campbell.
And those are the names you'll be hearing a lot tonight.
Looks like Nakia Pierman might be back there with them. The Colonels are set to kick off to start this football game. They'll be kicking with the wind. And certainly we've seen Nick Boley with a powerful leg. He does like to place the kick, but he does have some power. I wonder if he'll just try and get this one back into the end zone with the aid of the wind. Colonels in the home black jerseys, black pants, orange and white striping. It will not get in the end zone. It will be fielded on about the 7-yard line. Return man starts up the middle, now goes outside. Far sideline, getting strung out by a host of Colonel defenders. It looked like Daniel Triplett was there for the stop, along with number 72, Tevin Pierman. Decent starting field position here to kick it off for the Generals. They're going to spot this ball on their own 34-yard line.
Colonels did a decent job of coverage on that. Did tend to converge on the ball and had a couple of players that didn't stay in their lane, missed the initial contact, and able to get the ball to the 33, 34-yard line. Nice starting position, as you said, for the William Campbell Generals.
Generals have road white jerseys, Dark blue pants, dark blue helmet. No WC on the helmet. They took that off last year, I think. Handoff play. It's not going anywhere. Colonels have this busted up in the backfield. One Colonel got in there very quickly. It was Aaron Close or Stephen Farmer, I think, that made the initial hit in the backfield. Might have been Josh McClure, actually, now that I look at it.
And Christian Gilbert was there quickly as well to ensure that whoever had him wrapped up didn't let him get away.
Generals coached by first-year man Danny Broggan. That name sounds familiar. You heard a lot on KD Country back in the day. He was the starting quarterback for William Campbell, led them to a state championship in 2005, furthered his playing career at Liberty University, played a bunch of different positions up at LU, and ended up being a very good player there as well. Here comes a quarterback keeper on second down. This is going nowhere, too. The Colonels' defense just swarming off the left tackle, really beat the ball carrier to the spot. It'll set up a third and about 15.
Yeah, they're going to give him forward progress up to about the 31-yard line, and that's a gracious spot because the Colonels sniffed that out. They were in the backfield almost as quickly as Rosser could get the ball.
Rosser, I'm sorry to cut you off. He was trying to go off left tackle, and the Colonels just very stout at the point of attack. Nothing doing on that one. Colonels adjusting their coverage a little bit. The twin safeties are Christian Gilbert and Mateo Malback. They're favoring the wide side of the field. That's the right. It's actually 3rd and 13 here. First third down of the night. Rosser's going to take off and run. Designed quarterback keeper. And Stephen Farmer just got him with the rodeo move around the jersey and tossed him down. Hit him with enough speed and enough force to really knock Rosser off the stride. And this will bring up a 4th down punting situation.
Like you said, got him by the sleeve. It had a look like he got him like with a horse collar and twisted him around, but it was clearly up under his sleeve and showed how strong Stephen Farmer is with that work he's been doing in the weight room. He just spun him down.
Malback will go deep to return. It looks like Rosser's going to punt it away, he's going to keep it and run, and he has some room up the middle. Gilbert's going to have to make a stop, and he does. Christian Gilbert hit him squarely in the chest at the 40-yard line and brought him down 4 yards shy of the marker. I don't think it was a design fake, but it really opened up nicely for Rosser.
Matt Aiken was on a jailbreak, and he got through untouched until the blocking back got him, but he elevated. Rosser had no choice. He could not get that punt off, but the way that the play transpired, the middle was wide open. If Gilbert doesn't make a great open field tackle against a very talented Rosser, that's a first down.
That play developed very interestingly, and a great saving touchdown there by Gilbert. They'll hand it off to Jonathan Montague. He's going to plow his way through the first defender, carrying another with him, continues to drive the feet past the 30. That's a first down pickup on the first play from scrimmage for the Colonels and Jonathan Montague.
And that was 8 yards of 8 yards after contact. I mean, that's strong kid.
He just kept churning the legs, just fought through the initial contact.
And he almost broke it.
He really did. Fresh set of downs here for the Colonels. 1st and 10 from the William Campbell 28-yard line. Man in motion is Jonte Gord. They're going to hand it to Montague again, trying to find a hole. This time he doesn't have one, and he's thrown backwards. Nice defensive play there from number 22, Jamel Ashley. He's a 175-pound senior, and he showed some strength there to deny Montague any room of running.
Jonathan tried. That play was designed to go up the middle. Jonathan tried to break it to the outside, bounce to the outside, and Jamel was having no part of that. Bring up 2nd and about 15.
Colonels have one wing/blocking back. That's Josh McClure. Montague still in there to the left of Mateo Malback, who's currently playing quarterback. He'll roll out to the left, sets up and throws, looking deep down the sideline for Gord. Gord reaches up and can't get it. It's incomplete. Had plenty of distance, and maybe the wind actually hurt Malback there a little bit because he overthrew it just a touch.
Well, it looked like Gord might have broken off the route a little bit and didn't continue to run through. And it's probably a good thing that the ball was overthrown because I don't think that Mateo saw the safety breaking over on that side who had coverage responsibilities.
Safety did get in there to help out. This will bring up 3rd and 15. Far hash mark right. Wide side of the field is the left. Colonels need to get it down to just inside the William Campbell 20, called the 19.5-yard line. Malback calls for the football, chest-high snap, wants to throw a little screen pass. It's high and nearly intercepted, but incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and 15.
All right, you're at the 35-yard line. Looks like Coach Sharness.
See new personnel coming on. It looks like they're going to punt. I think you could have argued going for it. You could have argued possibly running the ball there and trying to set up, a 4th and 10, a 4th and 9 type of play. Looks like the Colonels are going to boot it away. Malbeck, when he gets into the punt formation, his heels are on about the 50-yard line. 2 men go deep to return for William Campbell. Wonder if Malbeck's just going to try and kick this one in the end zone, or he's going to try and hang it up high and let the coverage team get down there. We'll see. Snap is a little to the left, but Malbeck fields and not much of a rush. It's a beautiful kick. He does hang it up high, and it's muffed. It's muffed. The ball is free, and now it's in the end zone. It's going to get picked up by, I think that's Dawson. He's running, trying to get out of the end zone. Is he out? Yes, he is. Maybe to the 1. I don't know yet. This could be a Colonel safety. No signal yet from the official. He's just waving one arm. I think they're going to spot it maybe on the half-yard line.
Boy, great job by Dawson. That ball, the receiver should have let the ball go because it was about the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And he had Colonels bearing down on him. He muffed it. It went into the end zone. I thought the Colonels were going to recover, but Dawson did a great job of picking that ball up, running almost the width of the end zone, and barely got out to prevent William Campbell from getting a safety.
The officials are still kind of huddled up. The William Campbell team has their huddle set up right beside him.
Some of the Colonels are saying it was a safety.
They're still signaling safety, yeah. A few Colonel coaches are about halfway out there trying to see what the call is going to be. The official's going to walk over here a little bit towards the sideline, middle of the field.
They're saying a touchback?
I think they're saying touchback. They're saying it's going to be a touchback. The officials apparently saying that the ball broke the plane maybe without hitting the William Campbell return man. They're going to spot this ball on the 20-yard line, though, and really what ends up being a bad break for Altavista. Whether it's a safety or not, it would still be William Campbell ball on about the half-yard line. This turns out to be a very troubling turn of events for Colonel fans. They're going to William Campbell, going to get under center and just pound the football here. This is just a halfback lead play right up the gut. It was 2 blocking backs in the backfield for him, and it ends up netting about 5 yards on first down.
Well, the interesting thing is that they spotted the ball on about the 1-yard line. And it clearly, William Campbell player clearly caught the ball and fumbled it. It went right through him.
Yep.
Interesting. I'll follow up on rules official.
There you go. More like a 7-yard gain, actually, because this brings up 2nd and 3. Ball carrier's churning and gets through the interior of the Colonel line. That's a first down.
That's Jamel Ashley. Nice job by that William Campbell offensive line. They just blew the Colonels back. And
they'll move the chains. A couple Colonels were signaling the other way like maybe they ripped the football out, but the officials were having none of it. Let's reset things here. We've played just about 5 minutes in the ball game. Still no score between Altavista and William Campbell. It's the General's second time touching the football, and it started under very auspicious circumstances, we'll say, but they're moving the ball now after 2 successful runs. They're going to stay in this power formation, and Mike Revis wants to talk to his defense about it. Colonels will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 6:47 left to play in the first. Still no score here between Altavista and William Campbell on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. And they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista. The next time you get ready to make a change. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, best deals on wheels.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
We return to first quarter action here between Altavista and William Campbell. Still no score. Another shout-out to throw out there, Oscar. Grandma Dory in Fancy Gap. She is the hippest grandma this side of West Virginia. That is Mike Revis's mother, and she loves to tune into the ball games. And defensive coordinator Mike Revis called the timeout there. I think he was adjusting to that power formation, but now William Campbell back in the spread. What do you know? Rosser's going to roll out and throw on first down, flips it over the top of the defense. It's complete to Andre Reed. Reed turns it up the far sideline. He's across the 50s, bounced out of bounds around the Colonel 49, and that's enough for a fresh set of downs for William Campbell.
Yeah, another shout-out, Mike Kinlaw. He's listening in, and he might be the hippest insurance agent in town.
Oh, I think so. I popped by Mike's office a week or two ago. We hung out for a little bit. He had a big jar of candy, which I proceeded to take about half of. And that's how I have so much energy on Friday nights.
After the punt fiasco, and we'll get rules for clarification on that. William Campbell at the 50-yard line, moving the ball well.
Generals are certainly taking advantage. Another passing play. Rosser steps up in the pocket, now flushed out to his left. Pump faked the throw, then brought it down, hit hard at the far sideline by Shaheem Pennell. He did pick up about 2 or 3 on the scrambling play there.
Well, Shaheem just ran right through him. Nice tackle by Shaheem.
It set up 2nd and 8. 6:32 left to play here in the English is your complete home center. First quarter, still no score. He's Agent Zero, Oscar Briggs. I'm Kyle Hoehne. So glad you could join us on a windy October evening. Generals looking to the sideline for the play here. Clock is stopped because he did get out of bounds. Colonel's defense, one cornerback giving the receiver a bit of a cushion, the other pressing. Now Mormon will back up a little bit. Here's a running play. They give it to number 22, Jamel Ashley. Ashley turns the corner, and he got into full speed there before he was brought down around the 33-yard line. Generals just continuing to move the chains and churn out some yards.
Yeah, ripping out big chunks of yardage, 6 and 7 yards at a time. And Coach Revis didn't like the looks of the things and called that timeout. It'll be interesting to see. He's continued to change personnel.
We heard a lot about the quarterback, Josh Rosser, and so far it's been Jamel Ashley that's done quite a bit of damage. Not that Rosser hasn't done his fair share, but perhaps the Colonels may be keying on the quarterback a bit much. Looks like they're going to get under center again and go in this power formation, Oscar. It's 2 tight ends, 2 fullbacks, and a tailback who sets about 8 yards deep in the backfield. Somebody got off on the snap count there. It looks like William Campbell moved early. This is going to be a 5-yard penalty.
Boy, Deshaun Bradley came out of the blocks like Usain Bolt. It's going to be interesting to see what the officials call.
We haven't talked too much about the offensive line for William Campbell, but Mike Sharnes did mention to us that he had some concerns there. It's a big O-line. Lamont Hancock listed at 300 pounds, Oscar. Dylan Angel for William Campbell listed at 285. They've got some beef up front.
Bradley's he's one of the smaller ones at 5'10", 170, but he's got a ton of speed.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to make up for it with the speed there. Back in the spread formation, 2 receivers to each side. Rosser is the quarterback. Here comes the shotgun snap. He wants to throw, has some time, lobs it to the far sideline. Pennell's going to be there to make the tackle after a 7-yard pickup. It was number 80, Traquan Williams, on the grab.
Boy, Rosser looks as good as advertised, doesn't he? He's throwing a nice ball. He's throwing a nice tight spiral, and receivers are running very precise routes. So Colonels have got to stop the run. They got to find a way to stop this passing attack.
Sets up about 2nd and 6 from the far hash mark left. Generals are moving left to right from Oscar and I's perspective up here at what we're now dubbing the West Tower at English Stadium here at Altavista High School. Rosser still looking to the sideline. Looked like he was having an ongoing conversation with Danny Broggan about the play call. He's going to sprint out to the left. Had a lead block, got hit in the hip. Wasn't brought down, but he will be brought down the second time around. That is Chancellor Mormon on the tackle, along with, I believe, Jonathan Montague in there.
Well, Chancellor hit him initially, I think, and just wasn't quite able to run him up, to wrap him up. But he did hit him hard enough that it knocked him back in time to get some help there from his Colonel teammates.
3rd and 5 coming up for the Generals. Still no score here from Altavista High School. 4:44 left to play in the first quarter. It's presented by English's, your complete home center. Rosser has the offense set from the far hash mark left. 2 receivers to each side. Shotgun snap kind of floated back to him. He grabbed it, wants to throw. Now he wants to take off and run. Ooh, met stiff resistance over there near the far sideline. They shoved him out of bounds. That was Jonathan Montague again. It's going to end up being a loss of 2 yards. Check that, loss of about 3 yards. It'll set up 4th and 8. I'm guessing the Generals go for it here, Oscar, but you never know.
Yeah, and Matt Aiken was in on that tackle as well, and I think you're right. And the Colonels have to be careful here. You almost have to put a spy on Rosser. With his ability to scramble, I don't think you can turn him loose.
Yeah, almost like you make one of your linebackers guard him man-to-man, and I think it wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Perhaps that's what Jonathan Montague is doing. Maybe that's why he has made the last couple tackles. Generals do look like they're going for it. It's an empty backfield. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. 4th and 8. 4:28 left to play here in the first quarter. Here comes the low snap. Rosser grabs it. Wants to throw. Has a bit of time. Looking down the left. Same pass is just a little bit too high. He had a receiver there. It looked like Jamel Ashley, but he overthrew it. That's a turnover on downs in the Colonel's defense. Bend but don't break. It sounds like a broken record, but they do it again.
Well, Traquan Farmer was running step for step. He was about a step behind, and then Mateo Malbach came over from the safety position to provide some little support, but the ball was overthrown. Colonels take over on downs. They'll have the 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line.
William Campbell, they've moved the ball and ground out some yards, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down. Big shout-out to Benny Nash. He's a big KD Country fan. A big football fan. He went to William Campbell, but he's a big Altavista fan, too, so he's kind of torn right now.
Last year at William Campbell, he came and got in the booth with us
He
for
did.
a while.
I thought we were going to have to kick him out of there. I'm just kidding. Benny could have stayed. They handed off to Jonathan Montague on 1st down. He meets a pile of white jerseys and gets thrown backwards. They'll probably give him forward progress to about the 30-yard line. Clock moves with 4:10 left to play in the English is your complete home center. First quarter.
He tried to make the cut inside, so that play didn't have much chance for success. Nice job by the Colonels putting pressure on Rosser as well and making him unload that ball probably before he was a little bit ready to.
Colonels' coverage has been good tonight. Shaheem Pennell said the big key was don't give up the deep ball. Don't give up the long ball. Colonels show blitz here on 3rd down. Rosser wants to throw. Steps up in the pocket nicely, but he will not escape. Yes, he will. He got out of the grasp of Tevin Pearman on his feet across the 35. Now the 40 to the 46 and brought down there by Stephen Farmer and Chancellor Mormon. I thought Pearman had him all bottled up in the backfield, but somehow he squirmed his way out of there.
Well, he got his way. There were 3 Colonels that ran past him. I thought they were going to stop him then, and then, like you said, Pearman had him wrapped up, and he got away from Pearman and got the 1st down there at the 47-yard line. Nice job by Rosser showing what kind of athlete and what kind of strength he has.
Yeah, don't speak too soon when Josh Rosser has the football. Bit of a Houdini-like move there to get out of the chains of Tevin Pearman. 1st and 10 for William Campbell. 7:04 left to play here in the Englishes, your complete home center. 2nd quarter. We'll talk more about Englishes here when we have a moment. Generals lined up, ready to go. This is a quarterback lead play for Rosser. He's through the first level of the defense, now dragging defenders with him all the way 10 yards deep. He got down to the 42-yard line, probably enough for a 1st down. If he's not there, he's close.
1st down. And, hey, we hadn't even talked about halftime.
We've got some special guests coming up at halftime. Some golfers from the Altavista golf team. The 3 captains will join us. It's going to be a nice time. We'll talk about the subtle nuances of the flop shot and more. 1st and 10 for William Campbell. They do move the chains. Handoff play coming here. This is Ashley. He's got a burst of speed across the 30. Now to the 25. He broke right through a couple defenders. Touchdown, William Campbell. Jamel Ashley on the carry. It's a 42-yard touchdown. And the Generals have a chance to tie this thing up here on a great run. I think his burst of speed kind of shocked the Colonels' D a little bit.
Well, we've seen such a steady dose of Rosser that I think the Colonels really kind of keyed on him and forgot about Ashley, and he made them pay. A couple of missed open field tackles, too, that the Colonels, I think if you ask them, they should have had him stopped before he got to the end zone.
Looks like the Generals are going to go for 2. It's a tight formation. It's under center. It's unbalanced to the right. It's an unbalanced line to the right. 2 fullbacks are set up to the right as well. They're going to hand it off. Ashley went up the middle. He's going nowhere. Stephen Farmer and Traquan Farmer have him. They throw him in the backfield. Boy, the referees let that play go on for a little while. They could have blown the whistle about 7 yards prior to that. Either way, it's a nice stop on the 2-point conversion for Altavista, but William Campbell answers with a long touchdown. They still trail 7-6. 6.5 minutes left to play in the half. Altavista football when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
This is 100% convenient mobile banking with local First National Bank.
With our FirstNet mobile app, you can securely check balances, make deposits, pay bills, transfer money, and much more.
It's easy to use, and we even have a video demo on our website at firstnetbk.com.
And it's free, so search FirstNet mobile app and download it for free today.
Remember, banking from anywhere, anytime will help you bring home more bacon.
First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, both teams sputtered a little bit their first times touching the football, but they have both answered and got the offenses cranked up. Colonels lead 7-6. Generals went for 2 and did not get it. The touchdown came from the feet of Jamel Ashley, and Gosh, a nice drive there for William Campbell. Great way to respond to the Altavista touchdown.
Danny, that's a great response. And if you're Danny Broggan, he was a good basketball player as well.
Sure.
And he still got some hops because when Jamel actually broke, I looked over and buddy, he's still getting some good clearance.
He was higher off the ground than Chancellor Mormon was on that one running play.
He's got Phil Mickelson type of air. So no, he great guy.
Oh, it's a golf night. Noah Pearman will kick it off for William Campbell. It'll get fielded running backwards by Shaheem Pennell. He starts up the middle across the 20. Weaving in and out of defenders. Shaheem might be gone. He's across the 40, now the 50. No one will catch Shaheem Pennell. It is a 83-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It's the first time the Colonels have run a kickback this year. It's Shaheem's 7th touchdown of the season. And talk about answering. The Colonels don't need any plays from offense to answer. It's a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Well, and let's face it, we've been waiting for Shaheem to get that opportunity. And it looked like William Campbell had a little bit of breakdown on the kickoff coverage as Shaheem had to run backwards for that ball. And once he caught it, looked like they kind of converged to the middle of the field, got past that first wave. Looked like one of the William Campbell players had him by the jersey, but Shaheem got away from him, and once he had a step, you're not going to catch him in the open field.
You're absolutely right. Kick from Nick Boley is good. Colonels lead 14-6. 6:10 left to play in the second quarter. William Campbell football when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead 14-6, 6:10 left to play in the half. Whew. Talk about some wheels, Oscar Briggs. You said it. You nailed it. Pennell broke one tackle. After that, nobody else got their hands on him, and once he got the full head of steam, nobody was going to get their hands on him.
Well, and, we were just talking about the first quarter and what a defensive struggle it had been, and even, with about 8.5 minutes left, there was still no score. Boy, the offensive and special teams have really stepped up here, and now we've got the kind of score that we thought we'd start to see.
Interesting that it's the Colonels' first time score. 5-5 KD Country.
A full line of Carhartt clothing's available now at English's The Complete Home Center, Altavista. Carhartt clothing, known for its rugged durability. On display at English's with a full line of men's wear, coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats. Sizes up to 4X. Carhartt for ladies, too. Special orders and accessories available. Order early for Christmas.
English's is your complete home center.
The Carhartt Clothing Department at English's on North Main Street.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
You see, everybody's talking about the Carhartt Clothing at English's on North Main Street in Altavista, and it's really convenient for not just folks in Altavista, but folks everywhere. It's right off Route 29. So talking to you, everybody in Brook Neal and Gladys and Naruna and all those other places out there, William Campbell fans, got to stop by English's in Altavista. Punting formation, it's sort of just a modified spread. We saw Nelson County and Chatham both did this, and every time we've seen teams go with this sort of spread punt, it doesn't seem to end well. Here's a high snap. Rosser will catch it, not much of a rush. Gets off his foot decently enough, goes down the far sideline, and actually stays in bounds. A nice William Campbell roll. It will come to a halt at the Altavista 36-yard line. All things considered, pretty good result for the Generals.
Yeah, that ball got about 10, 15 yards of roll out of it. So, you talked about not working well and the punt not getting off. It's a good thing with Rosser in the backfield. I think it's a good thing if he does get the punt off. You don't want him running the ball.
Yeah, he ran that one that he nearly picked up. That was on the first drive of the game for William Campbell. Colonels take over on their own 35-yard line. Jacob Adams still in there at quarterback. They have 1:41 left to play in the half and one timeout. So it's a modified 2-minute drill, and it's going to start going the wrong direction. Penalty on the Altavista Colonels. Left tackle popped up and moved.
Caleb Melton raised his head up. And
if you're in the NFL, you just pick your head up and look back like the quarterback was audible. I mean, have you watched an NFL game lately? Those linemen move around. I mean, they just pretty much let them do whatever nowadays. As long as they get set for a little split second before the snap. Adams rolls out right. Bullet pass is nearly picked off by Josh Rosser. He almost just threw it right through Josh Rosser. It was a hard fastball again. Rosser had a beat on it. So did Mateo Malbeck, but Rosser stepped in front and ends up batting it away.
Yeah, that was a great break on the ball by Rosser because that was another BB thrown by Jake. And Mateo still had an opportunity to get his hands on the ball after Rosser deflected it.
Yeah, he undercut the out route from Mateo Malbeck. Good read by Rosser. He's a great defender, too. He did a lot more of that last year as a linebacker. This year, he's a two-way player for sure. Adams is going to run. They had a bunch package to the right. Cuts it back inside, bounces off his own man, now thrown backwards. There's 6 white jerseys piled up on top of him, and he'll lose at least a yard, maybe 2. Progress, actually. One official has forward progress at a decent place, and now William Campbell's going to call a timeout. We'll take the timeout, too. 1:20 left to play in the half. 3rd and long coming up for Altavista. They lead 14-6 on 105.5 KD Country.
Napa know-how. Napa has Castrol GTX conventional, high mileage, and Edge full synthetic motor oil on sale starting at $3.49 a quart. So if your engine sounds like this, or even this, we have a Castrol for it starting at $3.49 a quart. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 11/13/16.
Brought to you by Napa of Altavista on Main Street in Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
So I like this strategy here, Oscar. Both coaches using timeouts to try and stop the clock and get the ball back for their team. Altavista with a 3rd and long. Now, if they pick it up, then Danny Broggan might be kicking himself just a little bit for helping them with the timeout. But I like it here on 3rd and long. Give your defense a chance to pin their ears back, and if you stop them, then maybe you use your last timeout and get the football back on a punt.
Well, and if you're Coach Shaughness, I think you gamble here and make a play and try to pick up the first down.
Colonels
are anything to lose. Excuse me.
No, you're fine. Colonels are working against the wind. It's a draw play, quarterback draw. Adams had some room to run, but number 70, Lamont Hancock, just grabbed the right hand and put it on the back of his jersey, slowed him down. Then he sort of picked up some more and brought Jacob Adams down. Another timeout on the field. Let's keep it here for this one, though, Mr. Briggs, as we've stepped aside quite a bit lately. We will have some scores coming up at the Subway halftime show. It's a 14-6 Altavista Colonel lead. If you joined us late, it was punts on the opening drives for the Colonels, and then a 9-yard Jonathan Montague rushing touchdown capped off an 82-yard drive. William Campbell answered with a long drive of their own. A Jamel Ashley 42-yard run ended that touchdown drive. And then it was a kickoff return for a touchdown by Shaheem Pennell. Nick Boley is 2 for 2 on the extra points. That's the scoring so far here in this football game at English Stadium in Altavista. A couple more shout-outs. WSET cameraman Dakota Rogers is listening. We'll send a shout-out there. And also, Bob Alvis is listening, of course. Dakota, I'm sorry you have to put up with Bob occasionally, but hopefully you just have to give him the tape and then go. Hopefully you don't have to talk to him too much.
Bob is auditioning for a job at Chick-fil-A.
Is that what he's doing?
I heard that.
Wow.
That's a rumor.
That's just a rumor. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be the lettuce guy or something? Or?
Huh?
Hey, I'm all about it. I think he should do it. I think he could do it. I think that man can do anything he puts his mind to. He's a distance runner now. He's a 10-miler. Here comes a punt from Mateo Malbeck. It bounces back and goes over his head. He picks it up. He's got some time to kick it away. He does step into it the right foot, and he got drilled as he did. Great play by Mateo Malbeck. It'll actually take a Colonel's roll and then get dove on by a William Campbell player at the 35-yard line. That was Daniel Dawson. I guess there's no roughing the punter penalty because he was outside of the tackles and really scrambling there, but ends up being a great kick. I mean, he punted it away from about his own 15-yard line.
It ended up being a net 30 from the line of scrimmage, so great job by Mateo there. Great job of athletic. You can see his athleticism there because that ball bounced over his head and got away from him, but great job.
Yeah, that punt was into the wind, too, and he really can't say enough. I mean, it's not like a touchdown or anything that's going to show up in the stat sheet, Oscar, but, I mean, that's a big play. I mean, that really saved the Colonels. If he goes down around the 15 or 20-yard line, William Campbell's got 64 seconds to really just waltz into the end zone. Not that the Colonels would quit playing defense or anything, but field position-wise would really benefit the Generals. It's William Campbell football here on their own 35. Dawson wants to throw. Rolling to his right. Does wing it out there. Far sideline. Looked like he was complete. Just barely inbounds. Yes, the officials do call it a catch, and that got some excitement going from the William Campbell bench.
That was reception by number 80, Traquan Williams. He's a 5'11 junior. Nice job going and taking what the Colonels gave him right past the first down marker, and sat there in the gap that the Colonels had. And nice job by Rosser throwing a little BB to him.
They targeted Williams one other time. He does make a nice little tiptoeing the sideline type of catch there. And certainly the Colonels are defending against the very long ball here, so those underneath routes, those 10, 15-yard routes are probably going to be open at least till William Campbell gets closer anyway.
Well, and it's limiting the pressure they can put on Rosser as well, although he fumbles the ball there.
Football on the ground. He picks it up. He rolls out. Hit hard around the 45-yard line. This is going to end up being a loss of 3 or 4 for William Campbell. Snap got there low, and he didn't really pick it up on his initial stab. He had to turn around and scoop it up. Luckily for Rosser, the blocking was okay, and it gave him some time to just pick it up and run with it.
Well, Stephen Farmer was drawing a bead on him, and whoever was in the backfield with Rosser made a nice block on Stephen and prevented him from getting to Rosser.
2nd and 12, 51.9 seconds left to play. Generals huddle up. A lot of times they just look to the sideline for the play, but that time they huddled a full 8 yards behind the football. 3 receivers to the short side of the field. That's the right. 2 over here to the left. Altavista safeties are giving a full 20-yard cushion. Rosser wants to take off and run up the middle. It's not there. He's stopped by the Colonels' defense. Perhaps a 1-yard gain. Stephen Farmer, first man on the scene. Aaron Close was there as well.
And that's really the first time we've seen that designed quarterback draw. Looked like that was, he's done that some other times, but I think that was the last option. That was the first time we've seen that designed quarterback draw. Colonels did a good job defending it.
3rd and 11. Do the Colonels use their final timeout if they get a stop here? Maybe so, at least to just make William Campbell punt it away. Empty backfield again. 3 receivers to the short side. Rosser's going to throw this time. Out route. Oh, he was looking for Williams again, and it went in and out of his hands. Sort of the same type of route they hooked up on earlier in the drive. It's incomplete. Stops the clock. Colonels don't have to use the timeout. 16.1 seconds left in the half. Punting formation for William Campbell. Well, punting situation. I really shouldn't say punting formation. They may go for it here. They've got the backfield empty again. I think they're going for it on 4th and 11.
I think it's a good call.
They need to get down to the Colonels' 42-yard line. See what kind of defense the Colonels want to employ here. Snap floats back. Rosser's got plenty of time. Short rush. Going over the middle. Picked off by Christian Gilbert. Gilbert uses a stiff arm to shed one man, and he's brought down right around the 42-yard line. Interception by the Colonels' Christian Gilbert. Altavista has 9.5 seconds left to work with here in the first half.
Colonels do get the ball first in the second half.
Now the question becomes, how bold do you want to be here if you're Altavista?
I know Jake Adams' body language, it looks like Coach Sharness is going to be a little conservative.
11th interception of the year for the Colonels' defense. First one for Christian Gilbert. We call his name again.
Although they've got the full wideout package in.
They do. They have some speed guys on the field, too. Chancellor Mormon can move. Mateo Malback can certainly move. Jonte Gord has 1 receiving touchdown on the year.
They got to get set. There's less than 10 seconds. They're down to 6 on the shot play clock. Shot clock.
It's almost basketball season. They could use that final timeout if they needed to. They're not going to get it off. It is going to be a delay game. Set them back 5 yards, which maybe when you're looking for the end zone here with 9.5 seconds left, maybe that's inconsequential.
It doesn't matter either.
1st and 15. I get where you're going with that. And let me clarify something for the fans out there. We love Bob Alvis. We just like to give him a hard time.
Yeah.
That's a call back to the other bit. Bob is, of course, one of our esteemed colleagues. Can't wait to get Bob on the air again. Maybe sometime in the playoffs, or maybe we might have to wait till basketball season. We'll see. Do a call-in. 2 receivers to each side. They're going to hand it off to Jonathan Montague. He's got some room and a convoy of blockers across the 50. 4.5 seconds left. Colonel's going to use the timeout. Yes, they are. I don't know if Coach Sharnes has signaled it just yet. Clock got down to 2.9 seconds. I think he wants him to spike it. Now he's going to call the timeout. He will burn the timeout. Let's take this timeout with him. Altavista has a 14-6 lead. 2.9 seconds left in the half. Probably a Hail Mary type of play coming up when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week. Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador, the happiest place in town, thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, if you like the end of game strategy, which I know you do, Oscar, then you probably like this last 3 minutes of football here. Both teams have exhausted all of their timeouts. They've played all the opportunities they have, and now it comes down to a Hail Mary try, probably from Altavista. Doesn't have to be a Hail Mary.
Hook and lateral. All kinds of things you can do.
Yeah, maybe some sort of exotic play coming here. It's 1st and 10, but that doesn't really matter either. Adams is set to throw. Going to heave it long towards the end zone. He's got Maul back fighting free. Bounced off his helmet and then fell
Bounced off his hands and bounced off his helmet.
You could probably argue for pass interference, and maybe you could argue for it both ways as they were jostling with each other. That was Maulback and Rosser, and that brings an end to a very fun first half. 14-6, Altavista on top. Subway halftime show on the way when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
El Cerrito in Altavista. Throw on a sombrero, shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
The Medicine Shop in Altavista on Main Street, a full-service pharmacy, now offering flu shots.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
The Dairy Freeze, Main Street, Altavista, with delicious hot dogs, burgers, fries, and, of course, ice cream. At Dairy Freeze, they're doing it right.
Radio Shack and Crystal Bay Pools, Altavista, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installation, chemicals, liners, and more.
The KD Country Sports Club, proud supporters of Colonel football.
At Subway, Monday is no longer Monday. It's Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day. That's the $3.50 sub of the day. Subway has a different 6-cent sub of the day every day of the week. Each has no artificial flavors or colors from artificial sources. For just $3.50, it's a great sub for a great price. Wednesday, that's Turkey Breast Day. Friday, Tuna Day. The $3.50 sub of the day every day at Subway. At participating restaurants, additional charges for extras and deluxe plus tax may not be combined with other offers, coupons, or discount cards.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, and certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharnes and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
The Subway pregame show returns here. Altavista on top, 14-6. I'm Kyle Hoehne, and we finally got Oscar Briggs out of here and got the real talent involved. 3 of the high school golfers here for the Altavista golf team, Mr. Scooter Duff, Mr. Ethan Cogsdale, and the one and only Rowdy Matt Dowdy. Sorry, he's the only one that gets a nickname, guys. Had a great season. You end up runner-up in the state. Matt, let's start with you. Talk us through the early part of the year, what the expectations were. Golf is weird because you got to start in the summer. Most guys are still continuing their summer break, but you guys got out there in early August, and I know you had some success early on, didn't you?
Yeah, we just started grinding during the summer, and at first we had really high expectations coming into our senior year, and it paid off well. And then with all the practice we had in the beginning of the season, just getting prepared for the playoffs.
The playoffs, obviously the playoffs in any sport are exciting. Scooter, talk us through the conference and the regional. Let's not get to the state tournament yet, but the conference and the regional was at London Downs, and I know you and Matt played over there a lot over the summer. Talk about how that helped, and talk about the performance of the team and yourself, because you had a great run there in the conference and the regional.
Yeah, I mean, me and Matt, we work over there, so we love it. We're so comfortable over there, and I think that really helped us. And I think the rest of the team feeded off our comfort. Some of the younger guys that might have been nervous, might have saw us being real comfortable and confident. They might have feeded off that, and I think that might have helped them play better.
Well, certainly senior leadership there from Matt and Scooter. Ethan, are these guys leaders in your mind, or are they just posers?
They're definitely leaders. They've been leaders from day one. First day of practice, we were all out there playing, and they'd be letting everybody know that we have to work hard to get where we want to be as a team.
Excellent stuff. Runner-up in the state this year. Talk about the state tournament. Who wants to talk about it? Are we back to you, Matt? Tell me about the state tournament a little. Oh, Scooter wanted to talk about it. Who had the low average? Who gets to talk here? Matt, tell us about the state tournament. I know you guys finished runner-up, but a really good performance by your team.
Yeah, I just wanted to go out there and have a good time, really. I knew it was going to be the last time I ever played high school golf for Altavista. And I did want to play good, but at the same time, I just wanted to enjoy it, just knowing it'd be the last time.
And he also plays baseball. Yeah, it was a great career here. Scooter, I know you've been in a lot of these postseason matches in the conference and the regional and the state tournament. Talk about your career and talk about Ethan and Matt a little bit, and maybe tell us a little bit more about the team, too. Other folks on the team, that is.
Yeah, I think the postseason is where you really get to have fun. The regular season is the long grind, but once you make it to the postseason, it's where the real fun begins. And some of the other guys we have on our team, we have Peyton Cogsdale. He was our number 4 guy this year. He's going to be really good next year. He's going to be, I think he's going to really improve from what he was this year, which is going to make him a great golfer. And then we have Thomas Crawley, who's another sophomore. He's got a great swing. There's so much potential for him if he wants to work hard. It's definitely there for him. And then we have John Tyree, who is also he's a junior, and he hits it a long way, which I think that's our real strength of his game. I think he really enjoys hitting it out there, so I think that really plays to his advantage over other guys.
Ethan, if you had to give some awards this year, who's your most improved player, and who's maybe your most valuable player?
Most improved would be Matt Dowdy. He's from day one. He's been good, but he's consistently got better over the years. And most valuable, I'd say Scooter. Scooter's contributed to the team from day one, and he's always been valuable in that 4 scores that we've always had to count.
Ethan, you get the best looking award. I'm sure you probably got the most votes for the homecoming event, although I notice as it's going on, neither of you guys are down there, but that's all right. You guys are done with all that homecoming stuff. Who else we got to thank? I know you guys had a little list of people you wanted to talk about, correct?
Yeah, we wanted to thank Mr. Gafford and Mr. Hubbard for letting us host the conference and region at London Downs. That just was really helped to our advantage, and it helped us come out with 2 wins. It was really great. Good way to end it for our senior year.
Yeah, London Downs ended up being sort of your home away from home. What do we got to say about Coach Bryant? I mean, Louis Bryant has been the golf coach for a while, and you guys have had to put up with him. He's had to put up with you, Scooter, but seems like he's getting results with you guys.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he got thrown in there, I think, the day before our freshman year. The day before our first match, he got thrown in there as coach, and it was just, from day one, we've always liked him. He's had our trust. We've been able to talk to him about stuff, even about non-golf stuff, which has been really cool. So that's just the kind of things you want from your high school golf coach, so it was really cool.
All right, I know you guys have been watching the football game. Any thoughts on the second half, Ethan? Any predictions, anything?
Well, we got some great running backs. Keep it on the ground. Run it like Jonathan Montague. He's a great runner. Put it on the ground, and he'll run it. Yeah.
I like it. That's exactly what I was going to say to Oscar, too, by the way. Guys, we're going to let you run. We'll take a quick time out here on the Subway halftime show. That was Matt Dowdy, Ethan Cogsdale, and Scooter Duff. We'll return with more. Colonels lead this one over William Campbell, 14-6 on 105.5 KD Country.
Get on the winning team and come find one of a kind. If you're looking for a new dining experience, try Piece of Pie on Broad Street. Come check out the great selection of local craft beers and enjoy a delicious barbecue meal at Two Sisters Tap Room, or sample a bottle of traditional mead from Vassir Meadworks, one of 12 meaderies in the state. An invitation from the Altavista Office of Economic Development. More information online at altavistaontrack.net.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family, see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show returns. Altavista leading 14-6 over William Campbell. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. Agent Zero, we heard from the golf team there. Another successful year. Seems like we say that every season with those guys. The volleyball team is rolling as we discussed. Saw some of those young ladies before the game. They're excited. They're getting ready for their postseason. I think one more week of regular season.
Yeah,
Does that sound right?
They got beat by Appomattox this week, and they took that kind of hard, but it was a fifth set win for Appomattox. So, yeah, they're getting primed for their conference tournament as well.
Colonel's leading this one 14-6.
Cross country's running.
Yeah.
District meet Wednesday at Stonewall Jackson, so got to remember to talk about them too.
Absolutely. See them running around town all the time. I envy them. I want to be able to run around like that. And I mentioned Bob Alvis is a big-time runner, so I'm going to get there one day. I'll just start slow. A few scores from around the area. Appomattox is up 42-0 over Nelson County.
Yeah, and as you bring up that score, for those of you that haven't seen, we'll take that as an opportunity. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
We'll take this opportunity to talk about Nelson County and their decision. Very similar to what Altavista did several years ago, and that's to leave the Dogwood District and play a little bit more of an independent schedule. We met Kevin Walker, the AD up there, and we're talking to him when we were at Nelson, and he's got a vision for the program, and to get where he thinks they want to be and where they need to be and be competitive, they have to take this step back. And you and I talked about it before we came on the air. We feel it's the right thing to do. We saw it be very successful here in Altavista as the Colonels kind of did their own thing, left the district, gave the Lynch Station Lizards time to feed up to the program, and Nelson County's doing something similar.
Yeah, and it's not just to cure everything. It's going to take some time still, even after that, and they're still going to be playing VHSL teams. They're just not going to play a district schedule. They're not going to be eligible for the playoffs. They're actually going to keep some of those same teams that they're playing. They're going to play some teams. You know, it's not always easy to phrase these things without slighting anybody, but they're going to play some teams that, much like Nelson County, have struggled for wins lately. And as you said, it's really the same model that the Colonels did. The Colonels were away for 2 years there. They kept playing football, obviously. You still have a team. You're playing some different teams, and hopefully you get a chance to get some more wins and get some excitement and some enthusiasm going.
But when you're talking about playing in Appomattox, you're playing a Dan River, you're playing a Gretna. these schools are AA schools and are powerhouses. The state championships that those teams have between them over the past 10, 15 years is there are a ton of them.
Yeah.
So, again, a lot of people didn't like the decision Altavista made when we made it, but
look at what's happened since.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And as I said, I mean, it's not like even when the Colonels came back in the district, all of a sudden they were just beating everybody.
No.
It was still an uphill battle, but they got there, and clearly 3 state championships later, you can say that it's worked out. Don't know how it's going to happen up there in Nelson, but I do think you're right. The athletic director and the crew up there, they kind of saw this as the template, and I know they talked about it a little bit with Dean Hubbard some too. And I think it's going to be a good move for them. As I mentioned, they trail Appomattox 42-0 at halftime. Heritage leading 26-14. Brookville is on top of Liberty 35-14. Easy Glass and JF are tied 14 all. Franklin County up over Halifax 21-6 at halftime. I'll grab a few more scores, but Oscar,
I've got one for you.
Go ahead.
My buddy Steve Hill went to Galax. He continues to feed us those Galax scores. Boy, Galax 41-6 over Narrows at half. Dougie Peoples with 6 touchdowns.
Well, that last name sounds familiar.
It's his brother. Stephen Peoples, of course, the great running back and linebacker that we saw for a couple years against when Altavista played against Galax, and now Virginia Tech player that actually scored his first career touchdown last night against Miami. But, yeah, Dougie Peoples running rampant against Narrows.
Yeah, a lot of guys that we've seen in person had a big night yesterday at Lane Stadium. Both Edmonds brothers really contributed to the win there for the Hokies, and Stephen Peoples. I've always said it's a lot of great football coming out of this area, teams and players. And, we obviously have seen one that is at UVA right now in person, Juan Thornhill. Hey, Juan had a birthday earlier in the week, so if he's listening, belated birthday wishes there to Juan Thornhill. And
talking about those state championship teams, I saw one of my favorite of the last 10, 15 years running around here earlier. Clydell Moon is in the house, or was in the house. And again, he's just one of my personal favorites. He was a spark plug and just a determined football player. Destin Brown was running around with him. So another Altavista great from those state championship teams. It's fun to see those guys back.
2 of the best ever right there. 2 of the best I've seen for sure. It's the Subway halftime show, and we have a little bit more time and getting off on a few tangents because the homecoming celebrations are underway and actually starting to wrap up just a little bit. Look like Nick Boley and Madison Dillard, the homecoming king and queen. So exciting there, and there is a good crowd in attendance, and you do tend to see a few more alumni when it's homecoming. They get to come home and say hey, and we'll say hey to everybody. Oh, another shout out I do have to mention. Assistant coach Dave Mabry is still out with injury, and he's been listening, though. Thought it was a great first half, and he has turned into a fan of ours, Oscar, but I know he would really love to be out there with the guys, and hopefully Dave can get healthy again and get back out there next week. Of course, next week, if you need to know, we're on the road to Gretna, the other big rival for the Colonels. It'll be Altavista versus Gretna. The kickoff scheduled for 7 o'clock. And let's take a quick timeout here on the Subway halftime show. Altavista leading 14-6 over William Campbell. We'll come back and recap the first half and tell you possibly some things that might happen in the second half. It's Colonels football on 105.5 KD Country.
Compassionate Care Choices, Autumn Care, 24-hour skilled nursing, inpatient, outpatient, physical, occupational, and speech therapies. Autumn Care invites you to tour their facility. In 2016, receiving the bronze quality by the American Healthcare Association. 5-star rating by Centers for Medicare Medicaid Services. Autumn Care, a member of Sabre Healthcare Group, serving Altavista and surrounding areas since 1989.
Altavista High School football is brought to you by Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs, and they're priced right with financing available. See Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street, Altavista, the next time you get ready to make a change. Steve Farmer Auto Sales. Best deals on wheels.
Introducing D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. A name you've grown to trust, Donnie Bryant is back with D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. As an American Standard dealer, D.L. Bryant Heating has the tools and the talent to handle all of your heating and cooling issues, large or small. Call 841-1580. That's 841-1580 for D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call 841-1580 for a name you can trust, Donnie Bryant and D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker with an exciting new offer from Feller Chevrolet. Purchase any new or used vehicle of Fellers and receive a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and a 3-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Again, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a 3-day money-back guarantee. At Feller Chevrolet, we stand behind what we sell, and we save you money. Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
A short drive will save you money. Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show returns here from Altavista High School. English Stadium, the site. It's the Colonels and the William Campbell Generals. Altavista on top 14-6. It was a Jonathan Montague 9-yard touchdown. A Shaheem Pinnell 83-yard kick return for a touchdown. That was the scoring for the Colonels. Nick Boley 2 for 2 on the extra points. Jamel Ashley has the lone touchdown for William Campbell. They went for 2, Oscar, and did not pick it up. That's the margin, the scoring margin, 14-6. What you think about the second half? You think scoring pace will stay roughly the same?
Yeah, I think you'll see similar that we saw in the second quarter. Looked like the Colonels started to figure things out, started to move the ball better, and certainly William Campbell moved the ball pretty effectively, just weren't able to get into the end zone. We talked about bend and not break, and Colonels did a good job with that. Really, William Campbell shot themselves in the foot several times on drives with some penalties. So if they can eliminate those, not that they're out of the ball game, but certainly they can flex their muscle and take time of possession away from the Colonels, and they've got a real chance at winning this ball game.
I think you're right. I think if you take away those penalties for William Campbell, certainly they have one more touchdown because they flagged Rosser on the long touchdown run, and they might have some more. They might have some drives that continued. They had 2 drives end on downs, 2 end on punts, and 1 end on an interception. Christian Gilbert had the INT for Altavista. For the Colonels, the flip side there, what do you think their game plan is going to be? More of the same, maybe? Just kind of pound it with those 3 running backs, and also the quarterback spot as well. Jacob Adams has proven to be a very capable runner himself.
I think you'll see a good mix, and I think you'll, again, we know that they're predominantly a run team, so I think that'll still be their bread and butter, but they can loosen that up, and Jake can be very effective throwing the ball, and certainly you'll like getting the ball into Mateo's hands.
Yeah, Mateo Malbeck can do some serious damage wherever he is at, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver, defense. Sure, anywhere you put him, he'll find a way to make an impact. This is the Subway halftime show, of course. You can eat fresh at 2 great locations in Altavista, Main Street, and then also in Walmart on Clarion Road. The foot-long special over the weekends is fabulous, especially if you've got a lot of hungry mouths to feed, or maybe if just your mouth is hungry, you can stop in there at Subway. Great customer service again on our trip. Few more scores, Oscar, that don't think we mentioned. Dan River is leading 15-3 over Gretna. Our friends at Prince Edward are up 18-6 over Randolph Henry. Heritage has a 26-14 lead over Amherst. Franklin County leading Halifax 21-6. I think I said that. It looks like most of the Colonel's opponents are on top. Not sure about Central Lunenburg. That's an interesting thing to keep an eye on as you get later on in the season, because you do get the bonus points for games that your opponents earlier in the season have won. And it all adds up there at the end. We mentioned the Colonels right now currently in the 3rd position of the playoffs in the 1A East region. That 3 seed, that holds. They would actually host 2 home games. Of course, you have to win the first round to host in the second round. You know that.
Well, ultimately, you'd like to be in that top 4 spot and get a bye.
Yeah, the bye helps too.
But to answer your question, at the half, it's Goochland 28, Central 7. And that's not a surprise for us. We had talked about that one before we came.
Yeah, Goochland ranked very highly in the 2A East region. So we'll keep an eye on all those games and certainly have some more updates for you at the Subway postgame show. But it looks like the Subway halftime show is pretty much drawing to a conclusion here. It was really didn't take as long as I thought with the homecoming festivities. Athletic Director Dean Hubbard and Principal Ty Gafford doing another outstanding job getting things going very quickly and getting everybody in and out and off the field.
And don't leave the event coordinator out either. He did a fine job.
The event coordinator this year is our very good friend Robert Duff. And you've heard that name many times. Of course, he is the father of Scooter Duff that we had on during the halftime show.
Some people call this press box. We call it Central Command.
It is Central Command here. The West Tower at English Stadium at Altavista High School. And perhaps by the time he's done, he'll have the West Tower named after him. And Josh Cothran now mentioning that we need to give a shout-out to Dave Mabry. He obviously isn't listening because he would have heard that we already gave a shout-out to Dave Mabry. He said the entire team misses Coach Mabry. Need to get him back here on Friday nights. And during the week, too, for that matter, not just Friday nights. Both teams are pretty much ready to go here for the second half. It will be William Campbell kicking the football away to Altavista. Last time they did that, number 6, Shaheem Pennell, ran back an 83-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Shaheem's got a little spring in his step. He just fist bumped with Christian Gilbert. He wants the ball.
Well, and you can bet that head coach Danny Broggan for William Campbell has told the kicker, number 11, Noah Pearman, by no circumstances should you kick it near number 6, Shaheem Pennell.
Yeah,
we'll see where the football ends up going.
Yeah. Who do you kick it to?
That's a great point. There's plenty of weapons out there.
I mean, you got Christian Gilbert, you got Jake Adams, you got Shaheem, Chancellor, Jonathan Montague. Pick your poison. Obviously, the speed to burn is Shaheem.
I'd rather not. If it were me, I'd probably get this football on the ground somehow. Call it a bunt if you want to, or a squib. They're actually going to kick it over Shaheem Pennell's head, but it goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Gilbert was closest to it for Altavista. Flag comes out, and it will be placed on the 35-yard line. Can you make a team re-kick it anymore? We never see anybody re-kick it anymore, Oscar.
No, that's a good question. I don't have an answer.
Call your rules official guy. You said you had a line.
I do, but unfortunately, he's working a game tonight.
That figures. Anybody that would know enough about officiating would be out there.
And I'll call him. It's Barry Wilson, who is a great official, one of my friends and coworkers, and I'll call him tonight after the game and get a ruling.
Barry's a good dude. Jot down some of these things that come up so you can go over it with him. Spread formation for the Altavista Colonels. One blocking back and one tight end. 2 wideouts. Adams takes the snap. Hands it off to Jonathan Montague. Montague plowing his way through the defense. Had a couple defenders draped on his back. Got to the 40-yard line. Called a 5-yard pickup on the first play from scrimmage in the second half for the Altavista Colonels. They lead 14-6 over William Campbell.
The Colonels have had some great running backs over the last 10, 15 years, and I don't know that anybody runs downhill better than Jonathan Montague.
He gets it going, doesn't he? I mean, he is Mack Truck-like, if you will. Not much dancing for Jonathan Montague. Oh, he'll throw one cut in there or two, and he's got a spin move at his disposal. But he gets downhill, and he got going downhill there. Got tripped up around the knees as he got it to the 50-yard line. That's a 10-yard burst there for Jonathan Montague. And a chain mover for the Altavista Colonels here on their opening drive. They get the sticks moving, 11:22 to play in the third. They're on top 14-6.
And I don't want to put the announcer's curse on him either, but certainly when he gets in traffic, he has the sense that he's in traffic. He can feel the defenders around him, and he really wraps that ball up and secures it.
Sure-handed. 2 receivers to the left for Altavista, 1 to the right, 1 tight end. Montague is the running back beside quarterback Jacob Adams. William Campbell with 4 down linemen, not showing blitz. Montague will be a lead blocker for Adams this time. Tried to swim move around an outside defender and got part of the way there, brought down for a 3.5-yard pickup. Just inside the left hash mark. Colonel's moving right to left from our perspective. That's north back south here at English Stadium. Decent crowd. William Campbell has a decent crowd over there in the far bleachers. It's obviously not a long trip for general fans. Maybe the wind and the threat of rain kept some folks away, but no rain so far here tonight. Montague is bursting around left end. A stiff arm one man. Now he stiff arms another, and he's tag teamed out of bounds at the 21-yard line. This is a big pickup for Jonathan Montague on second down. A 26-yard rushing play. That will most certainly move the chains for the Altavista Colonels, and they're in business knocking on the door, looking for more points against the Generals defense.
And give credit to Aaron Close handling it out of that H-back spot. He was out leading Jonathan. Jonathan did a nice job of following him. They actually said he stepped out of bounds at the 27, Kyle.
Okay. Montague has one rushing touchdown on the game. He's out for a breather. They give it to Christian Gilbert. Gilbert's got some moves, and he's free. He's across the 20, now thrown forward to the 12-yard line. Might have gotten to the 11 there on a nice running play. That is a 17-yard pickup. And now, all of a sudden, it looks like Danny Broggan wants to take a timeout to talk about his defense. They're getting gashed at the moment. We'll step aside with 10:14 left to play in the third quarter. Altavista leading 14-6 on 105.5 KD Country.
I'm Jeff Walker of First National Bank and the manager at our Main Street branch in Altavista. Did you know that local bankers have a lot more at stake in taking better care of you? You see, helping local customers like you be more successful is our only focus, and each customer is so important. So for your small business, construction, and personal loan needs, think of me and think of us first. That's local First National Bank. We'll help you bring home more bacon. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
He's Agent Zero, Oscar Briggs. I'm Kyle Hoehne. The two teams on the field are William Campbell and Altavista. OB, William Campbell's Jamel Ashley led all rushers with 78 yards in the first half, but the Colonels as a team really gobbling up some yards on the ground.
Yeah, certainly as the second half started, the Colonels were able to really gain some yardage. Danny Broggan called a timeout. I like the timeout.
I do too.
Colonels were moving the ball very, very efficiently, and now to the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. They can pick up a first down.
I don't know if it was so much as to make an adjustment or maybe just talk to his team, settle him down a little bit, maybe get him back in it. Running play here to Christian Gilbert. He's hit hard around the 8-yard line, stacked up there. Here comes another big pile of rugby scrum. The officials do blow the whistle, and everybody stops and really didn't net any extra yards this time with the pushing and shoving. But it does end up being a 2-yard gain. Colonels can get a first down at the 1-yard line. Obviously, they've got eyes on the goal line here to extend this lead. They're already on top 14-6. Montague back in the ball game. Set up on Adams' left. Blocking back is Aaron Close. He's behind the right tackle. There's a tight end over there on that right side as well. Adams looks over the defense, pulls up the right leg, steps into the snap, hands it off to Jonathan Montague. He's around right end and pushed into the end zone. Touchdown. Jonathan Montague's second of the night, his 7th of the season, and the Colonels extending the lead 20-6 with 9:30 left to play in the third quarter.
What a nice drive by the Colonels. Took off 2.5 minutes. Really, I think, made a statement with that opening drive because that offensive line was just smash mouth, opened up some gaping holes, and really pushed William Campbell's defensive front around.
Power running from Jonathan Montague, and you said it with the offensive line. They really bullied some guys around up front, made some great holes. The receivers did their job blocking as well. Nick Boley's extra point is good. He's a perfect 3 for 3 on the evening. Colonels on top, 21-6, 9.5 left to play in the third quarter when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
65-yard scoring drive to open up the second half for the Altavista Colonels. They led 14-6 at halftime. Oscar, that's exactly how every coach wants to start the third quarter. I mean, there's nothing wrong with running the kickback or anything like that, but gosh, when you drive down the field like that with some power running, it really seems to break the other team's spirit a little bit.
Well, it does, and it puts them behind. Now they're 2 possessions down.
And you ate up the clock, too. If you run the kickoff back, that only takes 10 seconds. Although, again, I don't think any coach is going to turn that down, right?
That's right.
We've seen that once tonight, too. Montague has 2 touchdowns. Pinnell has 1. Here's a line drive kick going to get fielded on the 10-yard line for William Campbell. This is Jamel Ashley. He had some room to run. Strange play. There was a lot of contact away from the football. You can tell both teams are playing hard. They're really getting after it on the blocking. And now here's some conversation after the play. William Campbell will start on their own 33-yard line.
Well, we know we're familiar with Danny Brogg, and he's not going to put up with some unsportsmanlike conduct. He's just not going to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
And neither will Coach Sharness. I mean, I'm pleased with what I've seen. If I'm a William Campbell fan, I like what I see out of Coach Brogg so far. I think they got to be thrilled to have him back in the house.
I was just going to use the word thrilled myself. I think you get an alumni like that, a guy who's one of the all-time greats at your school and who played at a very high level for Liberty University. It's a fantastic hire, and they probably are very lucky to have him. Rosser sneaks around a couple defenders, thrown forward to the 40-yard line. That's Traquan Farmer on the stop. Haven't heard his name as much tonight, but Traquan's still very active. It ends up being a nice 7-yard gain on first down for Rosser and William Campbell.
Well, and from my perspective, I like the decisions he made in the first half. I like his clock management. I like his use of timeouts. His play calling was good. Again, I think thrilled is the right word.
And you're right. I think sometimes with a first-year coach, some of those other things, like you talked about, the clock management, the timeouts, some of that stuff leaves a little bit to be desired. But Broggen seems to have a pretty good handle on all that already. Here's a quick screen pass from Rosser. The pass is complete, and this is Dawson, I believe. Might be actually Darrell Adams there. Might be number 9 on the catch and run. Either way, it's a first down pickup for William Campbell.
That's the first negative thing I can say about Christian Gilbert tonight. He had him stopped behind the line of scrimmage and just couldn't wrap him up.
Yeah, Gilbert has been outstanding. If you missed the first half, we called Christian Gilbert's name a lot, and then he picked up an interception towards the end of the half. Spread formation for William Campbell. Ball resting exactly on the 50-yard line after a first down. 8:29 left to play in the third quarter. It's brought to you by English's, your complete home center. Altavista sports the 21-6 lead. Here's a shotgun snap. Rosser's going to keep it. Ran into a big wave of defenders from Altavista, and they throw him backwards. There's Stephen Farmer coming out of the pile, pumping his fist, but there's at least 5 jerseys, 5 black jerseys, that is, that were joining him in on that. Matt Aiken was there. Josh McClure was there. Tevin Pierman was there. And I think Aaron Close was the other guy.
Aaron Close was one of the first ones to make contact with him. But like you said, that play went nowhere.
Rosser checking the sideline. Colonel's defense appears to be jacked up. If you just look at body language, you say the momentum is firmly with Altavista right now. Still a ball game, though, at 21-6, particularly if William Campbell can score here. Shotgun snap on the way. Rosser fakes the handoff, wants to throw. Slant route over the middle is complete. Nice form tackle there by Mateo Malbeck to drop the receiver in his tracks. But it is a connection of about 9 yards. I'm sorry. He was looking. He got Andre Reed there on the catch.
He got a nice spot too. That's going to be third and about 4, and trailing by 2 possessions. 7:12 remaining here in the third quarter. Clock running. You got to believe that they're in 2-down territory.
I would agree. Campbell has not been great on third down so far here tonight. They've been even worse on fourth down, 0 for 2. This is 3rd and 4, though, here from the shotgun formation. 2 receivers to each side. Rosser wants to roll out. Tried to pass, but had to pull it down. Had defenders in his face, and now he's got some right in his pocket with him. Thrown down for a loss of 2 at the 46-yard line. This will make the 4th down conversion a bit tougher. I'm still sticking by what you said, though. I think William Campbell's going for it here. They're in Altavista territory on the Colonel 46-yard line. They need to get just past the 41.
And that was a coverage sack. Nice job by the secondary. The Colonel's covering all the options that Rosser had. He went down the checklist. Nobody available. He had no choice but to tuck it, and really nice job by the front 3 or 4.
Rosser's got Jamel Ashley in the backfield with him. He's got 2 receivers to each side from the far hash mark. Wants to throw right. Pass was complete initially, and then smacked out of there by Shaheem Pinnell. What a great job by Pinnell. He didn't get there too early and get the pass interference, but he broke it up, and it's a turnover on downs. Good job by the Colonel's D.
Yeah, Shaheem got there about the same time the ball did, hit him with full body, and really jarred that ball and kept him from receiving it. Great defensive job by Shaheem breaking on that ball.
Makes the Generals 0 for 3 on fourth downs. Rosser had it, a good target picked out, and he threw a nice ball. It was just well defended by Shaheem Pennell.
And it was enough for the first down. It was a nice route. Again, just great play by Shaheem Pennell. And now the Colonels can firmly take momentum if they're able to get down and get some points on this possession.
This is a key drive here. If you're a William Campbell fan, a stop here would really keep you in the ball game. Adams is going to keep it on first down. Wow, just charging right through the middle of the defense. He ran right behind the center. That's Deshaun Hamlet, and he does pick up about 5 yards. That's a quarterback run, but it's more like an old-school fullback dive. They actually give him about 6 yards.
Well, and they've been able to do that here in the second half. On the opening drive, they were able to pick up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down. And you get in front of the chains like that and have 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, certainly opens up your options. And the way that offensive line is really coming off the ball, again, momentum firmly in the Colonel's favor right now.
Yeah, they've got a lot of options right here on 2nd and 4. 5.5 minutes left to play in the third. It's a 21-6 Altavista lead. Handoff goes to Christian Gilbert. He's searching for room around the right tackle. Doesn't find much of it, but does pick up a gain of 3 yards. It'll set up 3rd and short. Pennell's going to check into the game for him.
Boy, there's something going on down there. Somebody's talking because William Campbell's holding one of their players back. So.
I'll tell you the interesting thing about this dominating performance from the O-line right now, Oscar, is Stephen Farmer's actually not even out there. They're letting him just mainly play defense. He hasn't been playing a lot of offensive line lately because he's been banged up. Might have actually reinserted him in the game over there at that left tackle spot. Not quite sure. It's 3rd and short. Let's see if Adams goes with the hard count as he is accustomed to. Nope, just a straight snap count. He's going to keep it himself. He's got the first down. Hit hard around the line of scrimmage marker, but he had enough momentum and enough power to drive ahead to the 40-yard line. Ends up being about a 5-yard gain.
Again, you got to credit that offensive line. Just blowing William Campbell off the ball.
A real surge up front. Farmer is not out there, by the way. On the O-line, let's see how many we can identify. Daniel Triplett, Ethan Young, Tevin Pierman. Believe Melton Caleb is out there as well, and Deshaun Hamlet is actually left guard, not at center. They're doing a wonderful job right now, really establishing this run game for Altavista. Might be time for a play-action pass here on 1st and 10. Adams going to hand it off to Pennell. Pennell's got some room around the left side again. Bottled up and taken down by Jamel Ashley there. Nice solo tackle. Got his hands around his hips, rode him down to the turf there. And again, Pennell is one of those guys, if you don't bring him down, he's going to make you look silly, and Ashley with a nice form tackle there to get him to the turf.
Still a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like a gain of 4 is a disappointment right now. That's how good the offensive line is blocking.
Well, once again, those state championship teams, the Colonels had a lot of depth on the offensive line, and they have that depth again. And Sharnis does a great job of rotating those players out and keeping them fresh.
Got to credit the tight ends and the blocking backs for a lot of this, too. Adams fakes to Pennell, keeps it himself. Had a man on his jersey. Now he is brought down by Lamont Hancock with a little bit of help. It's another first down pickup, though. This is a 7-yard gain for Altavista. They just keep churning out yards. This is very impressive right now.
And burning clock. 3:25 remaining here as the clock is stopped to move the chains. But, again, 3:25 remaining. Colonels leading 21-6.
We've seen Altavista do this some this year. I certainly think about that opening drive last week against Appomattox. It was very reminiscent of this, where they just hit them in the mouth for 5 and 6 yards repeatedly, sometimes more. 1st and 10, middle of the field. They're on the William Campbell 28-yard line. Knocking on the door in General's territory again. They give it to Jonathan Montague. He slips by one tackle. He won't get by Jamel Ashley, though. He stops him around the 20-yard line, maybe even the 19-yard line. Montague just churning out yards again. He's close to the first down marker there. I think they're going to mark him just shy.
Well, he's bouncing around like a pinball, but he's dishing out the punishment.
More like a bowling ball or a wrecking ball, if you will. But I know what you mean. Your point is valid. Referees stop play for just a moment. They're going to usher number 22, Jamel Ashley, off the field. Don't know if he had some blood or something on the jersey, or maybe he's cut somewhere. He's off under his own power, so that's about the only thing I can think of, Oscar.
It's either that or there was an equipment issue, but they're not looking like they're looking like they're trying to neutralize, so it looks like a blood situation.
2.5 minutes left to play in the Englishes, your complete home center third quarter. This is a 21-6 Altavista lead. This is their second drive of the second half. They scored on their opening possession. Adams taking his time, looking over the defense. He's got a receiver to each side and a tight end. He'll run it himself. He's off right tackle. Cuts back inside. He's got a hole, and he's got some room. Touchdown, Jacob Adams from 19 yards out. Number 1, Jacob Adams scores. And the Colonels, all of a sudden, with their foot on the accelerator, they look like they want to pull away from the William Campbell Generals. They're on top, 21-6. Extra point on the way. Impressive stuff there.
Boy, he had a number of holes he could have picked to run through, and he dove left and went to the end zone. Colonels lead 27-6.
Got to talk about the offensive line again. They ran behind tight end Josh McClure, too. The extra point is good. It's a 28-6 lead for Altavista. 2:07 left to play in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. It's asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about, to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
On a windy October evening, the Altavista Colonels starting to establish their dominance, 28-6 over William Campbell. The most recent touchdown from the feet of Jacob Adams, a 19-yard scamper. But again, there was some Jonathan Montague in there. There was some Shaheem Pennell in there. Everybody's running the ball well, and it starts up front. The offensive line, the tight ends, the blocking backs, really getting it done right now, OB.
Very reliable and faithful listener. Deja Berger is not listening tonight.
Darn it. She in attendance or something?
She's in the house. I saw her.
She could have an earpiece in listening at kdcountry.com.
Could be. But she is in the house. I saw her prior to the game.
Nick Boley set to kick off for the Altavista Colonels. This was a hard-fought battle. It was 14-6 at halftime. But the Colonels have scored on their first two possessions of the second half and now all of a sudden appear clearly in charge. Line drive kick from Boley will land on the 10 and get fielded on about the 9-yard line. This is Jamel Ashley back in the game. So they must have fixed whatever issue that he had. He stopped and brought down around the 22-yard line. That's where the Generals will start their second possession of the third quarter.
Well, and I don't want the Colonels fans to think I'm just doing lip service or listeners. 28-6. Colonels are in charge right now. But this is an explosive team, and Rosser can bring them back. And this team from William Campbell can score quickly. Rosser can bring them back.
Rosser's had the one long one called back. Their one touchdown was a long one, a 42-yarder. So you're absolutely right when you talk about the explosive nature of this General offense. They could get back in this game very quickly, and that would be a mistake for the Colonel players to think that this ball game is over. It's certainly not. They hand off to Jamel Ashley on the power package there. They went under center with the three running backs. He was able to find a little bit of room, but that was closed quickly by the Colonels' defense. Looked like Daniel Triplett, Shaheem Pennell, and Christian Gilbert over on the left side for the stop.
Stephen Farmer is back in the game on the defensive side of the ball, and that may be Coach Sharness's way of giving Stephen some rest and keeping him from getting dinged up anymore.
Well, when the other five guys are blocking so effectively, too, why not give him a rest? And he can really wreak havoc on the other team's offense. Running play again. Ashley hits it with a head of steam, and he was almost gone there, but the Colonel's secondary bring him down for a 7-yard gain. He's just shy of the first down marker, so it'll bring up 3rd and 1. 1:15 left to play in the third. It's a 28-6 Altavista lead. Big-time third down coming here for the Generals.
And they're in that power formation, and I really like it. Again, I think Bargain's doing the right thing. They've been successful at it. They've still got a full quarter and a minute left to play. Plenty of time left, staying patient and staying with their strength.
Well, and that's a throwback to his head coach, Brad Bradley, who ran the spread but was not afraid to get under center and deliver punishment. Here comes a toss play. First time we've seen that out of that power set. It's a 2-yard gain, but it is enough to move the chains. It'll be 1st and 10 for William Campbell as they respot the ball. Ball went out of bounds, so it's stopped at 47.8 seconds in the third. Took the words right out of Oscar's mouth. 28-6, Altavista on top. They're going to stay in the power set. And normally it's unbalanced to one side or the other. It is an unbalanced line to the right. That means just two guys to the left of the center. Rosser's under center. He hands off to Ashley. Ashley's got a little bit of room right up the middle. Not a ton. It's old school football when they get in that jumbo package for sure.
It is. Now, the bad thing about that is it does burn clock, and you've got to reset quickly. If that's going to be your strategy, you've got to reset quickly. And now they're going straight back out into the spread. So, nice job by Broggen mixing this thing up.
25 seconds left to play in the third. They should be able to get one more play off before the quarter ends. They're in a 28-6 hole. Rosser wants to throw on second down. Pump fakes one time, now chased out of there by Daniel Triplett and just rode to the turf by Josh McClure. McClure just jumped on his back, and eventually the weight made Rosser cave in and go down to the ground.
A couple of times Triplett's been in hot pursuit of Rosser and just hadn't quite been, just out of his grasp, but he's been on him all night long. So nice job by Triplett. That time Josh helped to drag him down.
Josh is going to come out for a break. 3rd and 10 coming up. They actually lost some yards. Another big third down conversion, hopefully for William Campbell. They picked up one on this drive. They're going to try and get this one from the spread formation. 2 receivers to each side. The ball is far hash mark right. They need to get to the 45-yard line. Here's the shotgun snap, a little low, but Rosser gobbles it up, no problem. Steps up to avoid the rush. Now he wants to run. He's across the 35, hit at the 37, and brought down at the 39. Trio of Colonel defenders there. It's Traquan Farmer, it's Ethan Young, and it's Matt Aiken will stop him, and that will end the third quarter of play. William Campbell's got a 4th down coming up when we start the 4th quarter. Altavista on top, 28-6 on 105.5 KD Country.
A full line of Carhartt clothing's available now at English's The Complete Home Center, Altavista. Carhartt clothing, known for its rugged durability. On display at English's with a full line of men's wear, coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats, sizes up to 4X. Carhartt for ladies, too. Special orders and accessories available. Order early for Christmas.
English's is your complete home center.
The Carhartt clothing department at English's on North Main Street.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
3 good quarters of football. Altavista scored 14 points in the third quarter. They scored 14 points in the second quarter. They lead 28-6 over William Campbell. Oscar, I don't know if you could quite call it desperation time for the Generals, but really, if they're entertaining serious notions of a comeback, they probably have to pick this up here. I'm assuming they're going for it on 4th down. They may be punting it away.
No, I think you have to go for it, and I think you're right. I think they've got to keep this drive in motion. Although Rosser looks like he's going back to punt formation, certainly that kind of depth. You still got to watch for the hard count. If you're a Colonel, you got to be patient. I think Coach Sharness was telling them that during the intermission in between 3rd and 4th quarter.
Colonels have nobody back deep, so maybe they think this is a fake. The snap gets back to Rosser low, and he's hitting the backfield, hit on the 30-yard line, now thrown back to the 25. Stephen Farmer was doing the honors. Tevin Pearman was there. Matt Aiken was there. I don't know if they were going to fake it or they were going to kick it, but either way, it did not work out for William Campbell, and that's a big loss. Colonels are going to take over with great field position and really a chance to take all doubt out of the game now.
Well, and we probably haven't talked about it enough, but the snap getting back to Rosser has been problematic all night. He's probably had 6 or 7 that have been at his feet, either short. He's had one that was high. So there have been some issues from that long snapper as well.
It looks like a turnover on downs in the stat sheet, but it's more so than that. It's more like just a straight-up turnover on a fumble or an INT because they really lose a lot of yardage there, too. They hand it off to Jonathan Montague. Spin move at the line of scrimmage. He's stacked up at the 20-yard line, thrown back to the 22. We'll see where they give him forward progress to. It will be about a 4 or 5 yard pickup on 1st down for the Colonels. Best field position of the night. They're on the William Campbell 21-yard line. With 2nd and 5 coming up. 11 minutes left to play in regulation. Colonels on top, a full 3 touchdowns, 28-6. They look to the sideline. It would appear that they're trying to milk this clock down just a little bit, as Coach Sharness was in no real hurry to signal that play in. Play clock down to 7. Jacob Adams is still in there at quarterback. He sees it, knows the situation, takes the shotgun snap, keeps himself off right tackle. Nice burst of speed thrown forward across the 15 to the 12-yard line. That's a first down pickup. Again, it sounds like a broken record, but this offensive line opening up some big holes, blocking well, holding the blocks, even getting up to the second level and getting some of those linebackers blocked.
I think you made a great point there, and certainly the backs and Jake in particular are doing a nice job with patience and letting those offensive linemen open those holes and then picking the holes, not just running smack into the line. They're doing a nice job showing patience.
Full credit to the ball carriers, too, for hanging on to the ball and finding those holes. They're going to run left this time. Montague has a little bit of a seam off the left tackle. Hit hard around the 7. Dropped at the 5. Inside the 5, actually. Well, right on the 5-yard line. Should have went with my first instinct. 2nd and 3. They can get a first down at the 2. 9:52 left to play in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter presented by English's, your complete home center. You're at home for Orca Coolers. They've got a bunch of new Orca options in there, too, Oscar. I'm going to talk more about that next game. Good for hot and cold beverages.
That's one of the smartest inventions ever. Keeps cold stuff cold, hot stuff hot. How does it know the difference?
You got to love the technology, man. Or maybe it's not even the technology. Maybe it's the elements. They hand it off to Jonathan Montague again. He's got 2 general defenders draped on him. He pulled him with him for a little while. Lamont Hancock was one of them. Hancock is a big dude, too, at 300 pounds. And Jonathan Montague even found a way to drive him back a few yards.
And it's going to bring up 3rd and less than 1.
Colonels looking to the sideline again for the play. They're in their home black jerseys, black pants. It's a homecoming night here at Altavista. Second to last home game of the season. They play Dan River the final week of the season, but hopefully